Hey, this is Miss Melissa again. I would like to read today a story to you that's by one of my very favorite authors, P.D. Eastman. Now, you probably know P.D. Eastman because he's the writer of Go Dog Go, which is a great book. We might do that one another day. But this time we're going to do Big Dog, Little Dog by P.D. Eastman. These are about two friends, Ted and Fred. One is big, one is not. Alright, Big Dog, Little Dog by P.D. Eastman. Fred and Ted were friends. Fred was big, Ted was little. Fred always had money. Ted never had money. You see? When they walked in the rain, Fred was wet and Ted was dry. Look, Ted always carried an umbrella, but Fred didn't. I see some ducks and a frog. They both liked music. Fred played the flute. Ted played the tuba. Isn't that funny? The tall one, the big one, played a tiny little flute, and the little one played a humongo tuba. It's way bigger than him. When they had dinner, Fred ate the spinach and Ted ate the beets. They like different things to eat. They look very happy eating their vegetables. When they painted the house, Fred used green paint and Ted used red. There they are painting the house. It looks like a Christmas house, doesn't it, with that red and green? One day, Fred and Ted went away in their cars. Fred went in his green car and Ted went in his red car. Fred drove his car slowly and Ted drove his car fast. Do you see? Fred is right here and Ted is way up there. Look. He's going very fast. They came to a sign. "Where should we go?" asked Fred. "To the mountains," said Ted. Do you see the sign? They had lots of choices, didn't they? They could have gone to the mall or the zoo, the beach, the mountains. What's the last one? Or Pittsburgh. But they decided to go to the mountains. When they got to the mountains, Ted skied all day long. Fred skated all day long. They're doing different things, but they're happy because they're with their friend. When they stopped, Fred was cold. Ted was warm. By night, both of them were very sleepy. "Look," said Fred, "a small hotel." They're going to go spend the night. That's good. Fred's room was upstairs. Ted's room was downstairs. "Good night, Ted. Sleep well," said Fred. "Good night, Fred. Sleep well," said Ted. There they are, upstairs and downstairs. But they did not sleep well. Upstairs, Fred thumped and bumped and tossed and turned. Downstairs, Ted moaned and groaned and crashed and thrashed all over the bed. When morning came, Fred called Ted. "Let's take a walk," Fred said to Ted. "We can walk and talk," said Ted to Fred. Look how horrible. Look. Oh, my goodness. They had a rough night, didn't they? They walked uphill. They walked downhill. They made tall talk. They made small talk. Did you get any sleep last night, Ted? None at all, Fred. My bed is too little. My bed is too big. What can we do about it, Ted? I don't know, Fred. They're thinking. Look how tired they are. They're weary. "I know what to do," said the bird. "Ted should sleep upstairs and Fred should sleep downstairs. The bird's got the word. Back to bed, yelled Ted. Back to bed, yelled Fred. That bird came up with a great idea. It's downstairs for me, yelled Fred. It's upstairs for me, yelled Ted. Ted jumped into the little bed upstairs, and Fred jumped into the big bed downstairs. Oh, wow. I think this might work out. Let's see what happens. Ted slept all day long in the cozy little bed, and Fred slept all day long in the cozy big bed. Look, they're sleeping. The sun is out and they are sound asleep. Well, that was easy to do. Big dogs need big beds. Little dogs need little beds. Why make big problems out of little problems? And that's a good thing to remember. We don't need to make big problems out of little problems. I hope you like that book. I think it's a very good book. I like Ted and Fred and their friendship. Okay, I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.